For the past 6 months, I have been obsessed with medieval garments. I don't know where this newfound interest came from, but I am welcoming it with open arms. I realized that I knew how to include medieval-inspired decor in my interior design, but when I look at my closet, it definitely does not scream medieval. Now, let's take my use of the word medieval with a grain of salt. I'm not gonna make anything like this, but I'd love to make garments that include what I think are the elements that make medieval clothes really interesting. I'm no fashion expert. In fact, I'm no sewing expert either, but my taste has recently been shifting to more refined, one-of-a-kind pieces. And this year, my goal is to try to make as many unique items as I can. My main inspiration is this Cecilie Banes skirt, and it is from which I'm taking more elements, notably the general shape, the slits, and the gathering. Color-wise, I think nothing says more medieval than stripes, so we're definitely going to have a striped skirt. Now, because I believe in using what I already own, I thought this would be the perfect moment to use. This. As to how I acquired this pile, it is a very short and sweet story. It was literally thrown in the plastic bag in front of my house. I have been racking my brain for the past 2 hours. I'm trying to find a pattern online that would help me get started, but so far, no luck. However, I have made some progress. These are my assumptions so far as to the construction of the skirt. So first there's an underskirt, then there's a layered skirt, and the layered skirt is composed by a short upper panel with gathered slits and a longer panel gathered at the top. Then we have a waistband, which is where everything is assembled, a bag zipper. Pockets is a possibility, and I wish to include some pockets, but I'm not sure that I can do it. I'm afraid that I like experience. This is to be determined. Okay, I'm gonna go and start patchworking. Which is what's really exciting, which is what I love. I figured the best way to gather this cut right here would be to add centimeters along this side, right? I think that makes sense. But it might not. I don't know. I'm just really eyeballing this whole project. Things are starting to look up. I was really starting to doubt myself, but I'm happy to say that I not only have a pattern, I also have a mock-up. I'm pretty sure that's not the term in the sewing industry, but it's a draft perhaps? This. I'll show you. As you can see, this is the general shape of the underskirt, and I've just added a length over here so that I could gather and have the gathered slit. The general fit of it is pretty cool, but I did not take into consideration that when gathering over here, this would curl up. So what I need to do is make this longer up until here so that it meets this length over here. news, bad news. Good news is, this is kind of cool. On a more serious note, I am going to divide this video into 2 parts, and that is because I already have so much footage. This is my first video, so if you have watched up until the end, I am so very grateful. If you wanna help me out, consider subscribing. It would really mean a lot to me. And see you on the next one. I promise you a finished skirt on the next one. See ya.